My name is Tyler Osborne, and I am with the Balboa Avid class. We're here interviewing Mr. Roth for the Balboa College Talks.
My name is Marie Mendoza, and I'm here with the Balboa Avid kids interviewing Ms. Zgliniec for Balboa at College Talk.
So, where did you end up going to college, and what campus did you consider?
I went to UC Santa Barbara, right up the coast, for my undergraduate, and I also, after that, I went to San Francisco State and received my teacher credential, and then I went to CSUN, Northridge, and received my master's. So, but we're talking about our bachelor's today, aren't we? So I'm a gaucho.
Where did you end up going to college?
So I went to Orange Coast College, OCC. I think it's actually one of the largest community colleges. I also went to Rancho San Diego to get my classes. While I was there, some people that I worked with when I was working at Olive Garden, we decided that we wanted to study abroad. And through Fullerton College and OCC, Orange Coast College, they have a program where they send about 40 odd students to Italy. So I studied abroad in Florence, Italy for a semester. I took my junior college classes Tuesdays and Thursdays, so I was getting my units, and we'd get on a train Thursday night and go to another country. We went to Austria, we went to Germany, we went to France, we went to Switzerland, all over Italy. So I was able to get my full semester units. I was able to travel to 9 countries, make friends. Even what was unique about that trip was most of us were in our early, 18, 19, 20 in college, but there were actually this one group of 40-year-old women that were also there, and they roomed together. And so again, junior college isn't just for 18, 19-year-olds. It's anybody who wants to further their education.
Can you share a favorite memory from college?
Favorite memory from college, waking up in the morning, and I lived right on, there's a place called Campus Point where you walk outside of your dorm and you go down the staircase, and there's these huge waves, and there's like 5 of us, 5 of my good friends. We went out and surfed in the morning, went back up, took a shower, and headed off to class. Came back after class and surfed a little bit more, and just one of those days where you're like, this is the life. I'm at school and I can go surfing right down the stairs.
Yeah.
Okay.
Tell me about your high school experience and how you decided to go to college.
Okay, so my high school experience, I grew up in Orange, California, which is right in the middle of Orange County, and I went to Villa Park High School. I had honors classes, and I loved English, and I loved to read, and I decided way back in 6th grade that I wanted to be a teacher. I also was very active with cheerleading, and I did a lot of competitive cheer and a little bit of track. I ran some hurdles. One summer for cheer camp, we went to UCSB for our summer cheer camp, and so high schoolers from all over will go to camps, and we learn routines, and we stayed in the dorms, and that's when I decided that I wanted to go to UC Santa Barbara.
College can be very expensive, and how did you afford it?
My parents helped me out with room and board. I took out loans. There's these loans called PELT loans, where the government lends you some money, and then after you're done with school, you pay it back. And I also did a work-study job where I worked on campus at the dining commons, and I helped the cooks prepare the food for the kids when they came and ate the food. And I also drove a truck for 2 years where I delivered all the laundry, because there's towels and jackets that all the kitchens had to use. So I had to deliver all the laundry, and I also had to deliver cases of food and things. So I was a truck driver for a couple.
Was there anyone that helped you apply to colleges?
My parents always were there to help, but when it came to applying for colleges, because you do that at the beginning of senior year, I just really didn't take that initiative. And we'd also talked about going to community college as well, and I knew that was an option, and I just already had decided to do that. I had also heard that it's easier to transfer and you're more likely to get in because the UCs are very competitive. So I honestly did not apply senior year for UCSB. I decided to go to community college.
What kind of housing did you have during college?
So the first year I lived at Anacapa Dorm, which is the one that was right by the water, and it's beautiful. And then after that, everybody you live your freshman year, you live in the dorms, and then once you get through your first year, you move to Isla Vista, which is you ride your bike to and from school. So So some people move downtown Santa Barbara or Goleta, and then most people live in apartments.
What was your school mascot?
They're the Gauchos, which is the Spanish cowboy. So he had a mask and he wore like a kind of a sombrero, small sombrero, and he had these bolos, those round things that you spin around, and they use them to knock out calves. So the Gauchos. And when I was there, the basketball team was huge. They made it to the March Madness, and so we had this basketball stadium. They call it the Thunderdome. It's still there. So we would chant Gauchos. So.
What did you consider when you picked your college campus?
I think that just like I know some students are touring high schools, you just get a feeling, the ambiance, the atmosphere when you're walking around, what the buildings look like, what options you have. I love that it was on the beach. I mean, UCSB has a beautiful campus. It's all right there on the beach. I loved riding, like everybody's riding their bikes everywhere, so that just looked really fun. That sounds silly. And going in the student center and just the positivity of everybody there. I just really enjoyed the atmosphere. UCLA I also looked at and applied, and it's a beautiful campus. It's a little bit more, I feel like the buildings have a little bit more history behind them. They're a little bit older, they're a little bit nicer. While, and I know they film a lot of movies on UCLA's campus because of that, and I liked UCSB, sort of eclectic, all the buildings don't match. Some are new, some are older, and again, being right there on the beach.
It's kind of fun, yep.
What did you major in, and what classes do you remember taking in college?
I majored in aquatic biology. So I learned how to scuba dive when I was 15, and I knew I wanted to be a marine biologist. So when I went to UC Santa Barbara, it was called aquatic biology, where you study freshwater and ocean water. And they had a brand new marine lab at the bottom of the hill there. And my favorite class was called aquaculture, where you learn how to take the animals from the ocean, raise them in like these huge aquariums, and use them to sell for money. And so I learned about abalone and how you could raise them in tanks and then sell them to restaurants. And it's called water culture, like agriculture, like you're farming them. So you're farming animals from the sea.
What program at your college attracts students to the campus today?
Engineering. It's a huge engineering school. So they have I go there every spring for science, a workshop there, and they do a workshop in material science, which is incredible. They do this stuff called nanoscience, where it's very small things that they can inject into people and deliver medicines to people. And marine science is really big there right now too. So environmental science and marine science.
What were your class sizes like?
I had some classes. There was one class called Campbell Hall. The classroom was called Campbell Hall, where it could be 200 to 300 people. And then I had some classes that were 35 of us. Aquaculture, my marine biology classes, the more specific classes, you get smaller. And when you have a class that's called English 1, everybody has to take it, and they're real big. And you're sitting there at a little desk, and you have this little flap down desk, and you take notes, and it's kind of like you're in a movie theater type of class.
What program at your college attracts students to the campus today?
Well, the UCs are known for their research. All the UCs in California just have, I think, a really great reputation. They're really tough to get into, and just the pride of going to a UC and being part of that system. But again, the UCs are known for research. I don't know if there's one particular program. UCSB also has some different sports. So if you wanted to go to football games, UCSB doesn't have a football team that's going to compete. But baseball's really fun.
What were your class sizes like?
Class sizes were small. So by the time I transferred, so if you do transfer, you usually get your math, your history, your science, your core classes finished in the first 2 years, and then your last 2 years are just focused on your major. So being an English major, I think all of my classes at UCSB were all English classes. So the core ones, like say it was British literature, English 103 would have hundreds of students, and we'd be in a huge hall, and the professor would lecture using PowerPoint and to hundreds of us, and then we would have to break out into small discussion groups with TAs. And the TAs were graduate students who would meet and we'd discuss the poem or the story. And then some of my classes were much smaller, I'd say 30 or less, and that was, like if I was reading women's literature, a certain kind of poetry. So the major English classes you had to take would be large, and then some of the subsets, just to get your units towards your degree, you had more choices, would be smaller classes.
Looking back, is there anything you wish you considered or done differently?
I went in with a 4.2 grade point average, so I had really high grades in high school, and when I got to college, my grades dropped a little bit in the beginning, so I wish that I had realized that college was going to be a little bit harder, because high school for me, I was pretty good at studying, and I had these systems that I was able to memorize things, and then college was very difficult at first, and then I figured it out. So 2 years later, I was raising my grades up.
Looking back, is there anything you wish you had done or considered differently?
The only thing, I would regret it if I had never studied abroad. I feel like try to travel while you can, even if it's over the summer in between classes, because once you go into the career and then you have a family, it's really hard to be able to do that. You will learn so much by traveling. So again, why I want to do the college talk was to really get that out there, to research what kind of study abroad and traveling options there are, and it can be very affordable for students. I do regret I did not get my teaching credential and master's through UCSB. I think I was ready to move on and do something different, and I ended up going to national, which was great because I could take a class a month and still work. But I do wish I had maybe gone back to UCSB and done the teaching credential program. I got a lot of teachers that I know did.
So,
Can you share one piece of advice you would give to middle schoolers if they're considering college after high school?
my advice is to, when you're a sophomore in high school, start thinking about where you want to go, and you don't have to decide on what you're going to major in, but decide on where you want to live. If you want to live out of the state, and start looking at what grants are available, and where does your mom and dad work. You can look at where they work at, because there's a lot of grants that are available through companies that you could discover.
Do you have any advice for middle schools, students who want to go to college after high school?
My advice would be to visit the campuses. I would talk to counselors or older experienced students. I didn't have an older sibling, so I hadn't seen someone go through the process. I didn't have a cousin or a neighbor. So to talk to people who are applying to colleges, to go and visit college campuses and get a feeling for them. Using the counselor resources, what classes do I need, what GPA should I have, what are my options. Looking at community college, and don't let that be something that you just start without a goal, because I think some people might get stuck at community college. It's just like an extension of high school. And if you feel that way, you could always drive a little bit further and go to a community college in another city, just so it's a different atmosphere, maybe meet some new people. But again, using all those resources, don't sit back and wait for it to happen. You have to go out and do the work and do the research to make it happen for yourself.
Well, thank you. We enjoyed talking with you.
Thank you, Mr. Roth.
Thank you. Mr.
Thank you
Roth.
for having me. All right, nice interview. All right.